Hi everybody, I'm Gary Barlow. I'm here to answer some questions. A lot of people I know write songs every day, like they think they should write songs every day. And I've discovered over the years that an instrument needs to be practiced every day, but actually time away from writing is almost as important as the writing time itself. And I think that's why, especially from being in the band, I've realised that the touring time is so you can get away from writing for a bit. You go on tour, you get some inspiration, you see your audience, you see what they're reacting to, and then by the time you get back to the studio, you apply all that knowledge, and of course you're dying to write because you've not written for 3 or 4 months. It's just like, right, I can't get it out quick enough. But practising an instrument, that's a completely different thing. And I'm such a rotten piano player now, unfortunately. But yeah, I have a piano actually set up in my dressing room so I can warm up before I go on stage tonight. So I learned very late actually. I was 10 when I started playing piano. I played it by ear to start with for the first couple of years. And then I started to read. I learned to read then, and that's when I started to learn how to properly move my fingers, and it was strange because in some ways I missed out on a lot of sort of my growing up years, the hanging out on street corner years, the going on holiday to Greece with your friends years. I didn't have any of that. I used to work. At 12 I got my first job playing in a pub, and all I ever wanted to do was get up in the morning, 20 minutes before school, headphones on, playing. I'd get home at lunchtime, I'd have my lunch quickly so I could use 45 minutes to play. Get home at 4, I'd play till my dinner was ready at 6. I'd maybe go out and do a show that night, I'd play again. I'd come home, I'd put headphones on, I'd play again. I just spent a good 6, 7 years of my life just playing and playing and playing. The first song I learned to play was Whiter Shade of Pale, Procol Harum. And the reason for that was that my father bought me an organ, and an organ consists of 2 keyboards and some bass pedals, and on the floor is an octave of bass pedals. And if you listen to A Whiter Shade of Pale, the bass just descends chromatically all the way down. So you spent 6 months of playing, your hands had been, you didn't, you know, you knew where your hands were going, but this idea of playing something with your feet, so you'd play Whiter Shade of Pale and it would literally just descend down this octave keyboard. And it was, I think that was the reason everyone used that as their first song, is because it was so simple from a bass point of view. Most of the time I write on piano. Now and again I can be in a dressing room somewhere and come up with a melody. That's actually how Rule the World started. I just come up with a melody in a dressing room in Barcelona. We took it home and we worked from that point. But more often than not, I need to sit at an instrument to write a song. Yeah, it's a very easy song actually, Back for Good, because I think there's 4 or 5 chords in it. I remember it was from a conversation I had with an old guitarist friend of mine who was saying to me, you know, all these chords, you know, I'm happy to teach you them, but really, you know, the best songs are written with 3 chords. I was thinking, oh, right, okay, that's an interesting thing. Let me see if I can write a song using just 3 or 4 chords. And that was Back for Good. What got me into music actually was Top of the Pops. I think you're often inspired by seeing someone else doing something that you think, I want to do that. And I remembered the first time that I watched Top of the Pops, Depeche Mode was on, and there was Vince Clarke playing this fabulous synthesizer, which I was like mesmerised by. Wow, the noises that thing's making. I just had a boring piano, you know, it only made one noise and you couldn't turn it down. And there he was playing this fabulous thing, and that really I thought, you know, it's not just piano for me. I want to play synth, I want to get into computing, I want to learn the technology behind it all. Because really 50% of what I love to do is being in a studio, being creative with sounds. It's more than just the composition, and you know, I have to see it right through the whole record procedure. Music's given me a very nice life. I've never had to work. I've never even been a postboy. Never even given papers. I've made a living out of music all my life since I was 12, and it's so rewarding. It's so enjoyable. It's frustrating. It's a lot of things, but on the whole, you know, you're doing a lot of good. And you know, I'm going to go out tonight and do a show, and it gives a lot of people a lot of enjoyment, and you feel it when you're on stage. It's just it's a very rewarding job. You know, if you want to be good at anything, you know, nobody just strolls up to picks a tennis racket up and wins Wimbledon. You know, I think practice is the reason these things are hard to achieve is because they're worth achieving. So practice makes perfect, definitely.